Okay, thank you very much for watching. I would just like to quickly prove once and for all that history repeats itself, and the same people that are behind Ferguson, the rich, dummy, fake Jew, Nazi, commie bastards that are behind Ferguson are the same people that are behind the whole keeping history repeating itself because they're just keeping people dumb. I want to show you real quickly how this is the same story that's been played over and over again. See this skig skag hooly hoo, Lisa Fithian? She's a veteran street organizer, previously dubbed Professor Occupy, who recently trained the Ferguson protesters how to simulate chaos. It's the rich dummy stuff, right? Order out of chaos, that's their stuff. And you can read about how she helped organize the Battle of Seattle and all these riots and stuff, but it doesn't really matter because what's really most important is right here in this one little sentence. Fithian specializes in aggressive, quote-unquote, direct action tactics. Now let's talk about these two guys. You ever heard of them? Me neither until recently. On 15th April 1920, these two guys here in Massachusetts were shot dead while carrying 2 boxes containing the payroll of a shoe factory. After the 2 robbers took the $15,000, they got into a car containing several other men and were driven away. Several eyewitnesses claim that the robbers looked Italian. A large number of Italian immigrants were questioned, but eventually the authorities decided to charge these 2 guys, Sacco and Vanzanetti, with the murders. Although the 2 men did not have criminal records, it was argued that they had committed the robbery to acquire funds for their anarchist political campaign. Now, long story short, as you can see, it's a long one. What happened was that this whole place blew up. The whole world, not just the country. He said, oh, you guys are just blaming these 2 Italians because they're Italians. If they weren't Italian, you wouldn't care. You guys are a bunch of racists. There's not enough evidence to prove that they did anything. And the whole world went nuts. Here, let me show you. As events moved towards a climax, the case assumed international proportions, engaging the passions of men and women around the globe. And eventually these guys were electrocuted, but it was in defiance of worldwide protests and appeals. Because by then, millions were convinced of their innocence, and millions were more convinced that guilty or innocent, they had not received impartial justice. Boy, I tell you what, if you substituted the word Italian for black, it's the exact same story happening right now. And what's even funnier is right here. They had not received impartial justice. Let's take a look at some of this Michael Brown stuff. Brown's parents questioned McCullough's ability to be impartial. Many feel McCullough is incapable of being impartial. You see how it's the exact same thing over and over again. And you want to know who organized these protests and riots and all this stuff? Look who it was. Direct actionists. Sure was. Direct action being the left's euphemism for violence in both the anarchist movement and the Communist Party. And what does she say she does? Direct action tactics. And look at Wikipedia even try to church it up a little bit. Direct action as a euphemism for violence is not accurate. Direct action is a euphemism for non-standard or possibly illegal activities to achieve some end. This might include violence, but it might also be a wide variety of other non-violent activities from the threat of violence and or intimidation. You see how they can't even really church it up? Because like, yeah, well, if it's not violence, at least probably going to be illegal. It's all that. This is the exact same story from 1920 that's happening right now. It's ridiculous, man. This is how it happens because people just don't know. So, same freaking story, just the names and places have been changed. Makes me sick, man. Dummies. Not you guys and ladies, you know what I mean. So, thank you, teammates. Thank you, subs.